You can raise babies and produce human beings that are going to go out into the world and have a legacy and have an effect, right? I want to address the gal with the pink hair real quick, because I did hear her say that. It is not hatred to criticize women. It is in no way hateful to notice when women are acting like entitled, like I said, all the women at this table could tell me all night long about what they think they deserve and what their rights are and what they should have and what they ought be able to do. But none of you can tell me what duties, responsibilities, or obligations you have outside of yourself to society, to the people around you. You would say things like, I'm smart and I'm funny and I'm just a really great person and I'm a good friend, and all these worthless platitudes. But there's no like sacrifice. You don't ever feel you need to sacrifice anything for anyone outside yourself. You're not.
She really cooking right now. This is Andrew Wilson's wife, and they called her out and was calling her the ultimate smex worker. That's what we're doing nowadays, calling it schmex work. But anyway, she's actually what a wife should be, and the modern woman is not paying attention to that, and they wonder why they're single.
Not willing to have sleepless nights so that you can raise babies and produce human beings that are going to go out into the world and have a legacy and have an effect, right? You're not really willing to do much of anything unless it benefits you. And then if someone questions, if Andrew comes on here and says, let me poke around and see why you think these things. Let me see if there's any logic behind your beliefs. Let me see if you even understand why you believe the things you believe. You think that's hateful. You think that's misogynistic. You think he's mean. No, it's just that you're used to being treated like a child princess and being carried around on a cushy little pillow in life with absolutely no opposition, with nobody ever going, hey, wait, what are you doing? What are you providing in life? What are you doing for anyone else outside yourself? You haven't ever been challenged on anything because you're a pretty girl, right? I'm young and I'm cute. Why are you questioning me? Why are you so hateful? Where's all the trauma? No, I'm just a 44-year-old woman who's actually lived, raised 5 children, worked really hard in my life for everything I have. I take care of, other family members. I help at my church. I do things that aren't just for me. So when I see girls that behave this way and have this mentality, you're damn right I'm gonna come on here and say some shit, especially if I get dragged out of bed to defend, this little girl that's saying my husband must be traumatized and hates women. It's just garbage. You're full of shit. You have no idea what you're talking about.
So these are the people of the Orthodox Church? You guys seem lovely. I would love to go to the Orthodox Church.
I think you're upset
so
because coming from someone who I know personally, I'm not a 10.
You're pretty smart, you know that?
I am very self-aware in that regard. I think that there might be animosity coming from you because you're maybe not as good looking.
Oh, I'm definitely not. What? I've been on the show. I've rated myself. But I grew up in an era where we didn't all think we were models. When you were growing up in the 80s and 90s, everyone didn't think they were a 10. Like, all of us girls who were not going to have modeling careers or be the hot cheerleader, we all knew that, and we were fine with it. And we didn't think we deserved 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure man. We were just like happy to meet a nice boy.
I'm from the 80s. I'm 44 as well. So we were born in the same year. I agree with her. The way the dating market looks nowadays is horrible. Y'all listen to Unc, man. Relationships were way better before social media. And now that we have social media, it's analysis paralysis. Everybody got so many options that they don't know who to pick, especially the modern woman. And I'm not just saying this to get all on women, because not all women are like that. But the majority of women in this country and in this Western civilization sure do act like that. They want it all.
They want it all.
And they will not stop until they get it all. And that compromises dating. We weren't designed to have this much access to everybody. And we have to recalibrate, because the new dating market is so different than what it was back in the 90s. And yes, I was around to understand and see what dating was like.
Liked us back. This was before Instagram and all this crazy narcissistic insanity. Huh?
You're calling those boys simps.
No, I'm calling your boy a simp. He's a simp. That's simp behavior. A nice boy who likes you isn't the same thing as some absolute goober who's going to pay for all your crap.
He's not paying for
expect
everything.
anything.
I'm just saying at the beginning of the relationship, on the first couple dates, a man should take the investment and pay for the first couple dates.
She's not paying for everything. She said that his family's paying for some.
Yeah.
And I think it's only fair that I pay a portion of rent.
For a girlfriend?
mortgage.
You're not even married. Like, why would his family pay for your stuff? You're not
They're
married
not.
to this guy.
He said that
They're
his
not.
brother or something about
They
the
all
apartment.
like a
own a
Nepo
home,
family.
and I help with
She pays the water
some
bill.
of the bills.
She pays some of the mortgage.
I pay some of the mortgage.
But
pays the
that's not
water
even
bill.
my question is, it's not even fitting to the dynamic that you're expressing so much interest in. Like, you're expressing so much interest in not only the first dates, but that you also want to be supported by this person. And this
I don't
dynamic,
think that means not paying any bills or doing any sort of housework or like helping in the relationship. Like, I don't think that it's entitled. I just think that it's a better dynamic long term for a man who has the financial stability to be with them rather than a man who doesn't have any sort of future plan to provide for you.
Do you think the woman needs a future or plan, though?
You think a woman needs a future in order to find a mate? Does she have to have degrees? Does she have to have a good paying job? Does she have to be confident? Does she have to have experience? Experience. What do you think? Just let me know in the comments.
I think that women should, and this might be controversial too. Is she gone?
she's here.
She's still here?
Still,
Oh, okay. I think it might be controversial, but I think women, even if they're not working a traditional 9 to 5, should have some sort of money saved up separate from their husbands in case there's domestic violence or there's divorce or things like that. Like, you should have some of your own income.
I don't think you need a keepsake of, like, if there's domestic violence. I think, like, you need
your
to be
own
contributing. You should feel safe in your relationship and, like, pick something. If you want a job, that's equal. Or you could do the equal housework and have kids. Like, there's an equality thing that's different. Feminists believe that there's equality, but you're talking about things not being equal.
I think it is equal. Like, I am
going to jump off here because Andrew's going to come back, and I am actually going to go to bed. But does anybody have any like final questions or bones to pick it
I
off?
think Star back there had like a thing she wanted to come back and say.
I'm just curious if anyone on the...
Sorry, what?
I'm just curious if anyone else on the show has brought up like internalized misogyny to you.
Yeah. I get it every day of my life. So you don't know my background, but I wrote a book about the history of feminism and how almost everything that the normal person thinks about it is actually wrong. The way that the feminist liberation movements unfolded is garbage that was rewritten history by women's studies departments. And I debate feminists all the time, so this is normal for me. Of course, I've heard absolute garbage bullshit like internalized misogyny. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's pure cope.
Okay.
I love women, but I do think that women have proper roles. And I think that the problem with you and most of the other girls that have a problem with me is that you don't understand that this modern world and all this beautiful technology around you that you're sitting in right now, if it weren't for men building that and maintaining that, you would have no illusion of being able to be a strong, independent woman and have all these choices and do what you want.
But why do men do all of that?
They do it because they're benevolent and they are good. Isn't that crazy? They're actually really nice and they care about us even though they don't have to.
But they're getting something out of you.
If men were as bad and misogynistic as you think, they would put us in cages and we'd be, baby farms.
Rachel be cooking just like her husband. They both cook. That's a whole household full of cooking. Chef Boyar Andrew, Chef Boyar Rachel for president.
Be baby farms.
I think you might be a little bit of a baby farm.
Because they could. No, they could.
You're a bit of a baby farm. Haven't you popped out 5 children?
Yeah.
You're
I'm
a baby
mother.
farm.
Oh.
I think that's the ultimate form of sex work, actually.
What's that?
I think that you popping out 5 children is the ultimate form of sex work because without those children, would your husband provide for you?
Degrading language. Wait a minute. Why are you using degrading language? Popping out babies. Popping out babies? So you're against
If you didn't
people having babies?
if you didn't provide children, would your husband marry you?
No.
Exactly.
Why should he?
Exactly. So you're a baby farm to him.
Marrying
No,
someone is
these
also
are
about
my
starting a
children.
family.
Yeah, a family.
These are my
A
children
baby
too.
farm,
You
essentially.
should be so lucky because you're gonna die alone.
Okay.
Early.
Thank
Probably
you so
early
much.
on top of that. So
Thank you so
I mean,
much.
if you would you like me to go wake up my children and get them down here too, so you can tell them that they're like
No.
gross little
I don't think it's appropriate.
trophies, that
think it's really
popped
appropriate.
them out, that they're the result of baby farm. I mean, take your little snarky little insults and shove them up your ass, because
Okay.
Do you think
it's
your
women
parents
like me.
did that?
It's women like me
My
who are
chil-
doing
my parents only
what
had
women are
one
supposed
child.
to do.
My parents
You
only
are
had one.
useless. You are a useless heifer who has never done anything except
You're
gratify your
a
own
great
desire.
woman.
Be nice.
You're a very godly woman, aren't
Both of you be nice.
You started it. Hey, you can dish it out, but you can't
I
take
started it. Didn't you come on here
called
talking about
me a
McFlurries
baby
or
farm.
something?
You called me a baby farm, and now you're going to pretend to be offended? Get the fuck
I
out.
said you're the ultimate worker, actually.
Okay.
she's a
Yeah,
mother.
me being devoted to one man for 17 years and giving him
You're the
children as
ultimate.
sex work.
You're the
Okay.
ultimate
So your
sex
parents
worker.
are also part of a baby farm because you were born.
My mom had one child and she
What does that
also
have to
worked.
do?
She, but I know that my parents would have gotten married without.
Well, first of all, she's just talking. That's it. She doesn't know what to say. She just want to do ad hominems and insults and all that other stuff. But she really doesn't know what it is to actually be a woman. She's lost to the modern feminism ideology, which has wreaked havoc on America and other Western civilizations for so many decades. They just don't understand. Like they're saying by what 2030 that it's going to be 50% of women single and childless, and this has never happened before in the history of mankind.
Having to have children.
If I milk a cow, the cow's still providing milk, though, even if
On
I
the
only milk
farm.
him once. So you're
Now
calling
look,
yourself.
we don't believe that marriage is only for the purpose of children. Had we gotten married and for some reason biologically I had a medical issue and could not give Andrew children, he would not have divorced me and he would not have left me. That's not what we believe in. We believe that marriage is also a sacrament of our church. You don't get divorced for a reason like that. However, why would a man marry a woman who's giving him nothing like you are? You don't bring
So you just
anything
don't value
to the man except
you don't
what?
value women for just being us. Like you just don't.
I
see-
value people, but that's different than what a man would want to get married for. Why do you not understand these basic distinctions?
A man could want to
Same-
get married without wanting to have children, but that's not what your husband did with you, honey.
No man does
Honey.
that except for a simp. Or
No.
some guy who's just
Men-
a
some
cooler
men just don't wanna
materialist
have
who doesn't want a
children.
family.
Sweetie.
Sweetie, honey. Yeah, I love these feminists are always sweetie, honey. They get so sassy, but this is going to be
You're
clipped
very
gold.
sassy.
Yeah. Well, listen, I was dragged out of bed because you're sitting here insulting my husband and saying, oh, your wife must be some victim or there must be trauma. Maybe your wife is bad to you. You're saying all kinds of personal garbage. And then when I come on here and tell you what's what, you're like, how dare she? She's so mean. She's not a good Christian. It's like, well, then don't say this stupid shit, lady. Don't come on here and talk a bunch of smack. And then when I come down here and set you straight, you're like, I'm shocked and offended.
You definitely didn't set anyone straight.
Oh, well, the chat disagrees with you. And it's
Okay.
straight, not straight. I
What-
don't know.
what do you
Women
have?
do this
I think
weird
it.
thing where they say
You're just
strawberry.
pandering.
I think
You're
it
just
shows.
pandering.
I think it shows the type of woman you are. The fact that you got out of bed and came down here to not only defend your husband, but to defend women at the right instinct that they should be in. So
Hell, the main reason I do the stuff I do is because I was really shamed for not going down a career path. I had a full college scholarship that I declined because I wanted to be a mom instead. And everyone around me thought it was some massive tragedy, that I was going down the wrong path. I was going to regret not being a career babe. Everybody said, oh, it's such a shame you're just a mom. And turns out there's nothing I could have done with my life that's more meaningful than having 5 children, raising them well, and being a good mom. There's nothing I could do in the career world that's going to last the way that will have a lasting impact in this world. And I was shamed for it, and I was made to feel like, oh, I was losing somehow in life. So yeah, I don't want other women to feel that way. I want to stick up for women who do want to be good wives, who do want to be good mothers, who think that that's a worthwhile thing to do with their lives, and not have them be subject to being called baby factories by disrespectful, chunky heifers with attitude problems who can't even properly articulate a single thought in their head. So with that, I'm going to go to bed, and you guys can talk to the nice Wilson instead. Maybe you'll feel better now when he comes back.
Continue pandering to men.
Rachel, shoot.
Good night, Rachel.
I was gonna let the
Right.
Drop the mic. Rachel has cooked and left the building. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. All right, this is your favorite uncle who's not related to your mom and pops, Duke Smith. Peace.